So we saw Blue Beetle. Honestly, I think it was a really fun movie. You know what it gave a little bit? It gave, like you were saying in the theater, it gave Spider-Man vibes, right? And it also made us fall in love with the character very easily. But it was kind of like his own Spider-Man Homecoming, a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was honestly a great entry to hopefully the new DC universe, or at least I think this is what it's. Is it a part of the new DC universe?
I think that's what James Gunn said. He said Blue Beetle is part of the DCU. But then he still says Superman is the first movie, which really makes no sense.
Maybe it's the first movie of him taking control, because remember Blue Beetle was kind of already on the boards.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, Blue Beetle is part of the new DC universe.
Yeah.
So
I think everything that they did in the movie was done how DC movies should have been done. And for his character, like since he's a young character, he can get away with, his movie being goofy, his movie being a little bit funny. Obviously, there's a time and a place for when you can be goofy and funny for a superhero. Yeah. But for him, it's okay. Like I said, it's like Spider-Man Homecoming, where it did have its serious moments in it. It did have its funny moments in it as well, but it still gave you a good hero story. One thing I did like was the flashbacks. That scene where it was him on top of who's the antagonist?
Carapax?
Yeah. He was on top of Carapax. That's what his name is.
I think so, yeah. Or Omek. Omek was the suit that he had.
So he was on top of Omek, and then the suit kind of told him, wait, you need to understand his story. And then it like flashes back. It almost reminds me of how they do it for like anime characters.
Yeah.
Or like where they have a decision where they can take the villain's life, but then, it flashes.
Yeah, it's like this like moral code moment.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Because, even in, throughout the whole movie, he's like, oh, I'm not a killer, this, that, and the other, when he was fighting him the first time. And the suit actually wanted to kill, but the suit was more so kind of protecting Miguel and then like kind of like reacting to the situation. So once it like bonded with Miguel, like it was throughout the whole movie, then he kind of more connected with Miguel and not just protect Miguel's physicality, but his mental as well, by reassuring him, that he's not a killer. Mm-hmm. So like by showing him the backstory of Carapax and helping him connect, and Miguel kind of realizes, he's just a broken man that got dealt the wrong hand, pretty much,
Mm-hmm. Man, it was a pretty sad story.
Or
for the
taken
guy.
Advantage of. Yeah.
Yeah. His name's Miguel. I thought it was Jaime, because they kept calling him Jaime.
I'm sorry, because he's also in Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, he plays Miguel. I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
I was like,
I was literally just watching it before coming here, so I'm seeing his face and I just see Miguel. But yeah, it's Jaime Reyes.
Jaime Reyes.
But yeah, Jaime had that like kind of like
that moral code moment where he had to make a decision.
You know what it is? It's the superhero moment. That was his defining superhero moment. Yeah. Like, am I gonna be a superhero that has a moral compass and protects all life,
or am I
no matter who it is, or am I gonna be the villain or the anti-hero who doesn't care whose life
is taken?
Yeah. So like it was a good defining moment, and they played it off really well.
He had great character development in only his first movie.
Yeah.
Like he had a coming of age moment where he was like, now I have to be responsible. And, Blue Beetle didn't start off as young as Tom Holland's character, Peter Parker, did, because Tom Holland's character was like 16, right? And now he's at the age of 18, because the last movie we left off on was like
he finished college.
Well, he's starting college.
Actually, no, he was.
No, he was getting. He was
finishing his GED. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was still around like.
Yeah, because he didn't even get to graduate.
That sucks. But for Jaime, he's a little bit older, so he's his story is kind of closer to that coming of age moments where he's done with college. This situation happens. Now he has this big responsibility, but him being older. He actually made a little bit more mature decisions than Peter because of the age.
Yeah.
We didn't see him make too many like kiddish mistakes, honestly. That's what I kind of liked. I like that they didn't make him make those childish mistakes, even though he is a young hero. He's kind of like very mature for getting that type of high tech suit because he's like a crossbreed of like Iron Man meets Spider Man in a way.
And again, too, he's got more of a. I mean, he's not a kid technically. He's more of. He's like he was like fresh out of college.
He's 22, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. They did say he was 22. Yeah, he's fresh out of college from Gotham Law, which I clocked from his
jacket,
his sweater. Yeah, the sweater he had on.
I'll buy that.
I don't know if that's a good fucking law school though, because you think about it, all the fucking
there's already
crime. I mean, they're good lawyers for the criminals, not for the people. I'll tell you that much.
Sucks because they're somehow still getting out of Arkham.
Yeah. So,
I mean, speaking of Gotham, which is a good segue into talking about other characters in DC. They mentioned Superman. They mentioned Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Flash.
And they mentioned Flash. Yeah. And that was George Lopez basically was kind of saying all those characters and stuff like that, which is a good sign because they're already established in that universe. Hopefully that Blue Beetle being in James Gunn's universe.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about origin stories.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to worry about, them getting their powers and stuff like that. We can just move forward.
Yeah, just jump straight into a good story.
Yeah, just jump straight into a good story. And James Gunn was saying that Batman Brave and the Bold already has Robin in it, right?
Yeah. So I think that one actually is Damian.
Oh, that one's Damian. So he has Damian already?
I think so, yeah. Because I think James Gunn said that this was going to be a story between him and his son.
Okay. I'm okay with Damian because honestly, if it did start off, now that we're kind of on the subject, if it did start off as Dick Grayson, we would have had to wait some years for Damian.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad it's also Damian, but I also hope that this means that we get I was gonna reword it really bad. I was gonna say this probably means we're gonna get some good dick. But
yeah, what the fuck?
Oh man. Okay, I think that this is a good chance to bring in a good story for Nightwing. Yeah. And also Red Hood and also Tim Drake's Red Robin or whoever he is at this point.
And Barbara Gordon's
story or whatever, whether she's taking handicap parkings or not.
I mean, if they're already to that point where it's like the Bat family, basically, that's also fine too, because I just think certain things need to have already been sped up already because a lot of things are taking too much time. All right, and DC has already technically wasted too much time, and the thing about it is, DC fans are stuck with Marvel content because there's not enough DC content. There's only so many animated movies. There's only so many times you can rewatch all the Batman animated shows and the Justice League Unlimited and stuff like that. Like, DC doesn't have enough content to occupy that crowd of people. But with the new universe starting, they can actually do that.
Yeah, and they could pull in a wider audience, should the movies be successful and the universe be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to think, when Marvel started, it was just Marvel fans. The first phase was just Marvel fans. But it bring in a wider audience because all those stories were good. Yeah. You know what I mean? And all those movies were for pretty good superhero movies, and it gave superhero movies a better look